Hey guys, welcome back to the Life of Legs, a podcast where I'm doing it for the culture. I'm your host, Alex or Legs. Thank you guys for listening. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today is Saturday, July 7th. I don't know why I'm saying this like I'm a news reporter and we're just tuning into the news. But no, I'm pretty happy because this week ended my summer classes. Yesterday, I officially did the last assignment for the classes. I was taking two online classes, so it wasn't like as bad as your average, like get up and drag yourself to class at 9 a.m. type of class. But it was still tedious, a lot of busy work, honestly. But I'm so glad for them to be over. And now I do not have to worry that I'm like a few credits short or a few requirements short because I am going to be a senior next year. And I'm sure any of you guys who have been college seniors know like it is imperative that everything is in order. Otherwise, any little thing could really stop you from graduating on time. And the last thing in the world I want is to be like 2 credits short and have to take a class in the fall or something because they're not offering it in the summer. Oh, terrible. Or like one requirement short where I have to end up taking a class next fall because I will cry. So everything is good now. I should be on the right and perfect track to graduating next spring, and that is just exciting. And I'm so glad that I finally have my summer. I can like plan activities for myself. Did you guys know I love hanging out by myself? Like I love going shopping and to the movies and out to eat by myself. Like I am a person who actually prefers to do activities by myself 99% of the time. So I'm so excited to plan a bunch of like me days and me activities. Oh my god, I can't wait. It's just been annoying because with these summer classes, I've had to really be careful with how I'm planning activities out due to just being busy doing the work. But I'm so glad, like I said, that everything is over. Also, I'm trying a new recording setup. You guys obviously can't see because this is a podcast. Have I ever told you guys why I chose podcasting over YouTubing? Well, the reason why I chose podcasting over YouTubing, because a lot of people recommended for me to try YouTube out, and I was like, no, honey, like, I'm good. I'm good, love, enjoy. Because, well, there's a couple of reasons, honestly. I have my qualms and issues with YouTube, and honestly, especially with darker skinned women on YouTube. Let's not even get into that. But the main reason why I actually chose podcasting over YouTubing is because I can be crusty. Like y'all don't even understand. Like right now I am in like the crustiest of outfits, bonnet on, everything, but you guys would never know because my voice is still fine and I could still podcast. So I'm good, love, enjoy when it comes to YouTube. I love just podcasting and being able to be crusty. So yeah, I'm having a whole new recording setup in like my bedroom though. So we'll see how everything sounds. We'll see if it like reduces the scratching noises and staticky noises. We will see about that. Also, it's not as hot today. Those of y'all who live on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure you know that it has been a struggle and a half for the past like 2 or 3 weeks now. It's been so hot. And when I say so hot, I'm not talking about like 80s. I'm talking about like 97 degrees every single day. And if you guys don't remember, last week I talked about how my air conditioner in my house is broken. So I've had to rely on an open window and an air cooler cube thing. And that still ain't been doing much, okay? So now it's a little bit cooler outside. It's actually not bad. I had to close my window, of course, to record the podcast, but it's just been, a little bit better today. I actually woke up cold because I had my window and the cube going, and I was like, oh, honey, this is what I've been asking for. I'm a person where, like, I like in the high between like 55 and 70. Like any hotter than 70, I cannot do it. And I know that's a big range, but 60s is ideal. I think that's beautiful weather because it's like it's warm, but you don't need like a heavy jacket. You're not like shivering. Your hands aren't numb after being outside for like a bunch of time, but you're not like sweating hot. So that's really good weather. Even high 50s, I personally think is good weather because I love a light jacket. Okay, if y'all want to know one thing about me, I love a coat, honey. A coat makes the outfit. Like a light coat though, not like a winter coat because no. But a light jacket, honey, ooh. A bomber jacket, yes. So it's a little bit cooler, which is awesome. I think that next week too is supposed to be in the 70s, which is good because like I said, I'm planning a bunch of me activities. I actually just subscribed to MoviePass. I talked about this last week as like a new favorite, but fun story, I wasn't actually subscribed. I just heard a lot of other people talking about it, but I finally took the plunge and just decided to subscribe to MoviePass because there's a lot of movies I've been wanting to see. And honestly, I like going to the movies. It's a really good activity to just be like air conditioned. It's a good way to get your mind off things. Like, just see a movie. Like, it's great. So I actually subscribed to it and I'm really excited to start using it. I have to wait because they send you like a little card in the mail. So I can't really quite use it yet, but I'm probably still going to see Ocean's 8 next week. I don't know. We'll see if the card comes in the mail. It said 8 to 10 business days, which, but if not, I still have like a $6 coupon for Fandango off of a movie ticket as well because you know what? I be at the movies, okay? So I still have a $6 off ticket, $6 off coupon. So I'll probably just go see Ocean's 8 with it. I also want to see Ant-Man, Sorry to Bother You, Uncle Drew, Deadpool 2. See, there's like 75 movies that I want to see. So that's why MoviePass is actually probably going to be like a really good deal for me. Especially because here, a movie ticket is like $17. Like, it's insane. It's a really good deal because for $9.95, you can see one movie a day every day, which is plenty enough movies. Like, who's seeing more than one movie a day? Like, anybody? So I think that is perfect. You can literally see between 30 and 31 or 28 and 29 if we're talking about February movies a month, which is a really good deal. And honestly, if you see even one movie a month, it's a deal. Like, that's why I got it, because I was like, okay, if I even just see one movie a month, I'm still saving money. $9.95 compared to $17. Like, shout out to living in Boston where everything is hella expensive. So those are my little ranty updates. So sorry if you hate a rant, but by now, if you haven't realized that I rant all the time and you're still here, like, some of y'all are still here. So I know that you support me, rants and all. Of course, we're going to talk about the little housekeeping type things. The first thing I want to say is I did make an Instagram page for this podcast and also for myself. It's a personal / podcast Instagram. It's not just a podcast Instagram. It's not just a personal Instagram. It's both. I'm too lazy to make like separate accounts for like the podcast and for me. Like, I am too lazy. So I just combined it all together. The name of it is The Life of Lex Podcast. I highly recommend following it, and you can keep up with me, keep up with the podcast. I am going to start like actually using it more now that I'm not like cooped up inside of that I won't be cooped up in my home doing schoolwork all day. I'll actually be probably using it and, being more active there. So definitely check it out. It's pretty new. But you should follow me there, and I'll probably follow you guys back. And I'm so happy because a lot of podcasts have been following me. So it's been really cool to see you guys' podcasts coming out with episodes. I'm like backlogged on podcasts to listen to, but I always am looking for new ones as well, because especially like in the fall when I start school, I like to listen to podcasts on the train more than I like to listen to music on the train. So I definitely like to have a bunch of podcasts just like ready to listen to. Okay, also, if you guys could, please go to Apple Podcasts and rate this podcast and also leave a review. I do believe I got 1 or 2 more reviews this week. Thank you so much to you guys who left those reviews. You guys are awesome. If you want to see what an example of a great shining review is, go read their reviews because these people are great. All you have to do is literally say, hey, and why you came back to this podcast, why you like the podcast, how you discovered the podcast, what your favorite part of the podcast is, something that you like that I talk about. And I'm not saying you have to answer all those questions. You can literally answer like one of them and it will be perfectly fine. It does not have to be anything intense. It does not have to be anything crazy. It can literally be a sentence or two, and that will be amazing. These ratings and reviews really, really help me to, one, understand that you guys do like this podcast, because I do believe that people do really like this podcast, and there are people that come back every single week, which is phenomenal. But sometimes it's good to have like reassurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know that somebody loves you, but they never say it, and you kind of wish they would say it. Like, that's how I feel about this podcast. I'm like, I do understand that there's definitely a good fan base for it, but I still wish you guys would like say it. So please, please, please let me know if you guys love this podcast, because, okay, like, I like this podcast, okay? Okay. Okay. How do you say that? Okay. Anyways, and also the ratings and reviews help to show up quicker in iTunes, because there is an algorithm behind which podcasts show up first. It's typically the ones that get a lot of ratings, get a lot of reviews, that type of stuff. Those podcasts show up earlier in search results. Also, it increases my chance to show up sooner on the society and culture page, which is the category of my podcast on Apple Podcasts. So definitely, 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 please, guys, I don't want to say I'm begging you, but if you are listening to this and you really like this podcast, it takes literally a few seconds. All you have to do is search this podcast up in your Apple Podcasts app, or if you have iTunes on your laptop or whatever. And please, please, please just leave a review and a rating. I really appreciate it. I think we're at 19 ratings now, so 19 5-star reviews. So thank you guys so much. I know at least 19 of you guys love this podcast. So that's great. Thank you guys. Other than that, I think we're done with the, I do want to say thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for coming back. And I definitely plan to make my Instagram more interactive with this. I plan to do a weekly question thing where I will post a little thing on Instagram and ask you guys to ask a question that I can answer weekly. All of that is coming underway. Like I said, I just was doing so many other things this summer that I don't want to say the podcast took the back burner, but I definitely couldn't put as much work into it as I wanted to. But now I will definitely be able to put a little more work into this podcast, at least for the next couple of months. And then after this year is over, like after I graduate, I'm gonna be full-fledged podcasting. I'm gonna be putting my website up. I'm really excited for the fate of this podcast after I finish college, and I can actually put in so much work to this. I can actually devote my time to branding and getting everything under control. So that's gonna be exciting. And I also did get an exciting opportunity this week for the podcast. I don't want to talk about it quite yet because it ain't happened yet, but it's really exciting whenever I get opportunities that come my way for this podcast, because sometimes I'm like, is this even worth it? Do people even like this? But then I remember, I love to talk. I love to say my opinions. I love to say what I'm doing. And someday, somehow, there will be people that will hear this and listen to this and think this is such a dope idea. And I just got that reassurance this week. So stay tuned for a really cool thing that I'm going to talk about later when it happens. But I'm really excited for that. So, yeah, let's just get into the show after a quick little pause. Hey guys, so first things first, we gotta talk about Miss Nicki Minaj, okay? And this week's theme is going to be, you do not need to tear other people down to lift yourself up. That's gonna be our little life lesson for the week in the second part of the show, because seeing all this Nicki drama inspired me to talk about that. But yeah, Miss Nicki, if you guys haven't been on Twitter lately, this happened earlier this week, so maybe Sunday. Basically, I'm just gonna read you guys what happened. This girl had tweeted something towards Nicki. Let me get this on my phone. Or not even towards Nicki per se, but she just tweeted this. I have the screenshots on my phone. So this girl named Wanna's World, she tweeted this tweet that said, "You know how dope it would be if Nicki put out mature content? No silly shit. Just reflecting on If I could read, you know how dope it would be if Nicki put out mature content? No silly shit. Just reflecting on past relationships, being a boss, hardships, etc. She's touching 40 soon. A new direction is needed." Now, when you hear this tweet, I feel like this tweet is not malicious. This tweet is not attacking Nicki, nor is it even saying that Nicki is a bad artist. In fact, she actually complimented Nicki in this tweet by saying that, she's a boss. She's gone through hardships. She's gone through tough relationships, but she's come out on top and she's still a boss. Like, I understand why Nicki may think of this as malicious, but I feel like this is really a tweet where Nicki could have taken an opportunity and gone a different way. So now Nicki DM'd this girl, Wanna's World. I think it's a girl. Yeah, it's a girl. And this is what Nicki said to her in her DMs. When your ugly ass was 24, you were pushing 30. I'm 34. I'm touching 40. LOL. And what does that have to do with my music? Eat a dick, you hating ass hoe. Got the nerve to have a Trini flag on your page. You must not have heard the Pink Print or Pills and Potions, Bed of Lies, Save Me, my recent feature with Alicia Keys, Tasha Cobbs. Just say you jealous. I'm rich, famous, intelligent, pretty, and go. But wait. Leave my balls. Tired of you sucking them. That's one message. So Nicki came back and sent her another message. This message was sent the first one at 10:09. Nicki sent her a second message at 10:16. And she was like, I dropped my album almost 4 years ago. My bad. I'm 35. So at 31, how about you get like me? Why don't you ask me to help you get rich? Been on top and ain't going nowhere, ho. So the first thing I just want to say is, did she mistake her own age? Like, did she say she was 34 and instead, I feel like her PR team or like somebody was like, she showed someone and someone was like, you're 35, sis. And she was like, oh shit, you're right, I am 35. That is so awkward when you get your own age wrong. Like, okay, I've done that before, like when my birthday just passed and someone's like, oh, how old are you? I'll be like, oh, 20. Just kidding. I lied. I'm 21. My B. But like, I don't just be getting my age wrong off the cuff. And then second of all, this tweet was so freaking messy. This whole thing was so messy. Nicki, girl, what are you doing? Here's my thing. I like Nicki Minaj. Last episode, I raved about Nicki because I do like Nicki. I am a Nicki fan. I think Nicki is a really good artist. I think that Nicki has done something that we haven't really seen any female rappers do in this day and age. I understand Missy Elliott, Lil' Kim, all of them rappers, yes. In the old days, of course, they all paved the way for Nicki to be here today, which Nicki doesn't necessarily acknowledge, but that's fine. It's no big whatever. But like, I feel like Nicki is very, very, very like malicious towards others, and it's like I feel like she takes hate personally. Like, she's already at the top, so I'm not really 100% sure why she needed to come at this random girl. This girl was a writer, and there was something in there about her violating a non-disclosure agreement. Nicki had gotten her fired or something. It was so messy. Like, it wasn't even just like the girl, like this little internet beef. Nicki's fans, like her barbs, they were sending this girl death threats. The girl is jobless. I mean, it's a real mess. Like, it's a true and honest mess out there because Nicki really had this girl fucked up. So I just don't understand why Nicki needs to sit here and fight her like this. Like, it makes no sense to me because Nicki's already at the top. Nicki's already proven she's the only female rapper of her caliber at this moment. You can say whatever you want about Remy Ma or Cardi B or whoever else you like, but at the end of the day, those people aren't as big as Remy. They're just, as Nicki. And that's just the truth. Like, Nicki is the top. She is the industry standard right now for female rappers. And so I'm not really sure why she's out here searching her name, fighting with randos on the internet. Like, she's rich. Like, Nicki knows she's rich. It's for her to be like, you're just jealous I'm rich. Yeah, Nicki, she's just giving feedback. Like, I don't even think the girl was jealous. I just think, like, she's just giving feedback. And it's like, the tweet wasn't even malicious. Like, that's what gets me, is that she just said, hey, a new direction is needed. All Nicki needed to do, Nicki would have been in the highest of highs of like high places, like being the biggest of bigger people, if she had just tweeted her back the Apple Music links to those songs. All she had to do was tweet her the Apple Music links saying Pills and Potions, Bed of Lies, what else does she have? I Lied, all of those good songs. I love Nicki. I actually know. And personally, as a Nicki fan, and I think all Nicki fans know, Nicki does have deeper music. You know, she really does. Grand Piano. Like, all she had to do was tweet her back links to those songs or send her the links in her DMs and go, here you go, sis, enjoy. That's all she had to do. And honestly, I think people would have been like, on Nicki's side. People would have been like, okay, look at her. But the fact of the matter that Nicki really sat here and was like, you know, you're touching 40, you're ugly, you're a hating ass hoe, suck my dick. It's like, girl, like, for what? Why do you need to tear this girl down? If she's misguided, either ignore her or prove her wrong in a high place. And I get it. Like, people are like, oh, well, you know, Nicki's tired. Like, she's, you know, everybody's always coming for her. But I'm like, okay, have rap beef with other rappers. Why are you having beef with, like, a random girl? Like, it just doesn't make logical sense to me. And then you got the girl to lose her job. And it's like, this is the thing. People are always like, Nicki does so much good stuff. But I'm like, here's the thing. Nicki is also really messy. Like, we can all admit that Nicki is super messy, super shady. And unfortunately, people focus on the bad rather than the good. So if there's a bunch of bad things that you do, those are gonna outshine all of the good things you do. And like I said, as a Nicki fan, I know Nicki does good things. She's paying for people's college tuitions. Nicki has done a lot with like charitable work and trying to help the community. And like, I know these things as a fan of her, but I can also say that I can see why somebody else who really doesn't care or somebody else who really is misinformed about her will think that she's messy and that she's childish. And it's like, I feel like she needs to rebrand her image because I feel like people like her, they want her on the track and all of this stuff. But it's like, do you see Nicki being like friends with anybody else, like other female rappers in the industry? No. In fact, it seems like she's beefing with all of them. It's like, you know, she's beefing with Remy, she's beefing with Cardi, and it's like, why is your name always up in some beef? Like, I feel like it's childish, and I get it. Like, people are gonna try to tear her down, but I don't think it's just people trying to tear Nicki down every day. Like, that's the whole thing. I don't think that it's even that. I think part of it is the fact that Nicki is really petty and really childish, and that rubs a lot of people the really, really wrong way. So, oh my gosh, it's just really, really disturbing. There was also another video out this week of Nicki opening up a few Chanel purses, and the internet ran rampant, and some people were like, Nicki is on drugs, and other people were like, you've never seen someone be excited. And I'm honestly in the middle, because here's the thing. For me, I wasn't even like, oh my god, she's excited, that's weird. It's the way that she was acting seemed very like erratic. People were saying that she seemed like she was trying to copy Cardi B, and I'm like, no shade, no tea, but this is how you see that Cardi B is a light-skinned or racially ambiguous woman and Nicki Minaj is a full-on black woman. You can see the difference in reception to that right then and there. If Cardi B does do that, which I don't know, I'm not a Cardi B fan, as you guys all know, so I have no idea what she does. But I'm just saying that right then and there shows that a black woman is going to get received differently. And I'm not trying to be colorist or trying to be mean to her as a black woman, but when I watched the video, something seemed off to me, and it wasn't even excitement. Like, the way she was screaming, dude, it sounded like she was literally undergoing an exorcism. Like, it sounded like bone chilling. It was like ear cracking type of screaming. I was like, is she good? And somebody who, I don't even remember, but somebody who was seemingly in the know about this situation, I don't know if they were like a former drug addict or something like that. I'm not really fully sure. I don't remember. But they were kind of talking about on social media that something is wrong with Nicki because they recognize the signs, you know, from her freaking out on this girl randomly to her posting that video screaming and acting erratic. And like, somebody just said that something seems really wrong with Nicki and they're not sure what it is, but it's clear and obvious that something is kind of up. So I hope if there is something going on that she gets the help she needs, because it's just, I don't know, man. It's just she's in such a good position, but I feel like Nicki could be in a better position if she rebranded her attitude a little bit. And like, I get it, like black women don't have to have a certain attitude and you can act however you want. But if you want to be the biggest, the best, and the most respected in the industry, well, you need to act a certain type of way. Like that's just tea. If you want to be a black woman who acts however you want, that's fine and all, but then you're going to have a lot of people against you. So you have to take your pick. Do you want to be your true self and know that there's people out there who aren't going to be feeling you? Or do you want to be the best and most respected, but kind of tone it down a little? For me, I've chosen the latter. I'm like, I don't care if people don't like me. This podcast is going to be extra real. And listen, I'm not on no Nicki caliber, okay? I ain't even a Z-list celebrity. But for me, like I was even thinking about when I was making this podcast, I was like, do I want to be like extremely honest and real on this podcast to the point where some people are probably not going to like me after listening to this? Or do I want to be like, like entertaining, but still kind of tone it down a little so everybody will like it? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna be myself. And I know there's people who listen to this podcast and they're like, ooh, did she really say that? And I'm like, yes, honey. Yes, I really did say that. So anyways, Nicki. Oh, Nicki. Can we talk about how Drake was on the cover of every Spotify playlist this past week or weekend or whatever? Like, he was just on the cover of every playlist. I don't even have Spotify, but I saw, like, Twitter screenshots of it, and Drake was just on the cover of every single one. Can we also talk about how this tweet came out earlier this week that Drake's son's middle name is Mabid or Manid? I saw somewhere that it's pronounced like Manid, I think. I don't know. Please don't flame me if that's incorrect pronunciation. I'm not sure. But basically his name is Adonis Mabid or Manid Graham. And people were like, wait, he said in God's plan, I only love my bed and my mama, I'm sorry. Or I only love my mama and my bed, I'm sorry. Whatever I forget which way the lyric goes, but you know what I'm talking about. And so people were like, oh my God, he's loved his son all along. Oh my gosh. And when I first saw this, I was like, y'all are ridiculous. Drake stans are really out here doing, like, y'all were working overtime, honey. Like, the devil works hard, but Drake stans work harder, okay? Because I was like, there is no way this man was talking about his son. He's only seen his son one time, apparently, since the child was born. And Drake very clearly said I only love my bed and my mama, my bed, okay? He was not talking about his son. There is no way. There was I can't deal. I cannot deal. And this tweet really went around and people were like, if that's true, that's the smoothest line of 2018. And I'm like, facts. But you know, Drake is up in the studio or up in his mansion or whatever, like looking like the Mr. Krabs meme, like, yeah, I love my son. Y'all right. Drake is a whole deadbeat. Okay, honey. He only has seen his son one time. I don't want to hear it. Let's talk about Remy and Pap. Okay, Remy and Papoose renewed their vows this week, and honestly, it was beautiful. Remy looked beautiful. Like, when I tell you, she looked snatched in that dress, honey. And that's the kind of dress I want for my wedding. Like, I've always said that if I have a big wedding, which I'm not having a big wedding, like, literally, I've already decided in life that I am not having a big wedding. I do not want that in my life. But I've always said, like, even if I have, like, a vow renewal or some kind of big, like, wedding ceremony, I don't want a traditional dress. Like, I want something that is unique, something that's different. And Remy's dress was beautiful. Like, it was absolutely beautiful. It looked so good on her. The color looked so good on her. The dress was like not too much, but it still had some stuff going on. Like, the top was beaded, but the bottom was just tulle, and it was a light shade of purple, like a lilac. Oh, it was beautiful. I was like, yes, Remy, like, that is it. She's beautiful, and the ceremony was beautiful. Remy also announced this week that she is pregnant, which if you watch Love and Hip Hop, that's actually very, very happy news to hear from them because I believe that Remy had a miscarriage. Please don't quote me on that. But I believe if she didn't have a miscarriage, she was definitely having some fertility troubles on the show. She was doing in vitro. I think she was having trouble getting pregnant is what it really was. And she was doing in vitro on the show, and it was a big like storyline for the show. I mean, not like a storyline as in it was fake, but it was a big like part of her story on the show. And so to hear that she is pregnant is really exciting. I'm really happy for her, and I'm really happy for her and Pap. Like their kind of relationship is something that I look at as goals, because if you watch like Love and Hip Hop, and I know it's scripted, don't get on me. I know it's scripted, but still, like you see in their relationship that they have ups and downs, but they always come back together because that underlying love is there. It's not just 24/7, everybody's lovey-dovey and the relationship is perfect. No, it's like a real relationship where people go through real stuff, but like work through the stuff and then come back together. And that's something that I love. And that's the kind of love that that's what I call goals, okay? Goals. So congratulations to Remy and Pap. I'm happy for them. And believe it or not, I like Nicki and I also like Remy. Like I like both of them for different reasons. I like Remy's personality. I think Remy, although she did go to jail for shooting that girl, so is Remy better? I don't know, guys. Like who's better these days? So a lot of white people were salty this week because Walmart is now selling Impeach 45 apparel, which I think is hilarious. That Walmart, the biggest American chain, is selling apparel to impeach the president. And a lot of white people were outraged, which is just funny to me. Like, I don't know. I thought that was worth mentioning because I thought it was funny. Can we talk about the term millennial for like a few seconds? Because I'm so tired of like older people thinking the term millennial means like 21-year-olds, as if the oldest millennials are not literally like 35 plus. Like millennials are literally grown adults, some of them 35 years old, in their 30s. Not all millennials are like 20 years old, and I'm so tired of like news reports and like just older generations sitting here and acting like millennials aren't like whole adults now. And then the other thing about it is that like they always be on some, should we let millennials do this? I'm like, should we let you guys do this? Like your generation is dying out, like your generation is about to retire, so who else is gonna do it if our generation doesn't start to take over these kinds of roles? So please, when you talk about millennials, just remember that millennials aren't just 35-year-olds. Also, please remember that just because someone might be, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 doesn't mean that they're stupid. I mean, this coming up generation, like we're very, very smart and very in the know. We're not just living our lives in the dark anymore. Like we're very aware of what's going on in the world. We're very, a lot of us are activists, a lot of us are speaking out. And so don't just assume because someone's young that they don't know anything, because honestly, a lot of millennials and Gen Z are more open-minded and are bigger advocates and are more educated on social justice topics than the generations that are sitting here talking shit about us. Like, I don't know, y'all 50, 60, 70-year-olds who are out here like so ignorant still. Like, just putting it out there. There's a Tupac documentary that was on a while back, and I guess this guy Keith D admitted that he knows who killed Tupac. Like he was in the car apparently, and the guy who killed Tupac was like in the back seat, and they were fighting over like some gang violence, I think. And this guy was basically like, yeah, I'm the only living person on earth who actually knows who killed Tupac. And now that I have cancer and I don't have long to live, I'm gonna just put it out there. I know who killed him, He said he's still not gonna give the guy's like actual name or give any signs to who it is, but he admits that he was in the car and he was right there with the guy who killed him. So I thought that was very interesting. I actually now want to go watch that documentary, The Who Killed Tupac. I have been seeing a lot of commercials for it, so I heard it was really good actually, so I definitely want to go and watch that. The Trump administration is reversing Obama era's affirmative action policies. So basically what affirmative action means is that schools need to admit more people than just white people. Like they need to admit students of color because a lot of colleges are still out here literally not accepting students of color because of their race. That is a big thing. And so this is basically saying that colleges need to consider, do I have enough black students at this school? If I don't have enough black students at this school, I need to let more black students into this school. And people mistake affirmative action for, oh, a black person's applying to a college and they're automatically going to get a spot over a qualified white person, which is not at all how it works. That is not what affirmative action is. All that affirmative action simply says is that, like, if at the end of the day, if it's coming down to a black student and a white student, but you have like barely any black students at the school, this is really important at PWIs because a lot of PWIs have very few students of color. And so at PWIs, this is saying, hey, if this black student and this white student are competing, yes, this black student might have the slightest edge over the white student who has the same qualifications because we need to admit black students. We need to admit students of color to our school. So Trump is reversing that, which means now essentially, hey, it might really, really be a harder and a more uphill battle to get in students of color to certain schools that don't really admit students of color like that still. And I don't really know what that's going to mean, but I do certainly feel like it's not going to be good because what else has Trump done that's actually a good thing? Which, by the way, Trump made fun of the Me Too movement earlier this week as well, which it was so sickening. And he's just a fucking disgusting garbage. Like, he's a pile of garbage, guys. He is a pile of flaming garbage. I saw a tweet earlier this week that was like, not all Trump supporters are racist, but they decided that racism isn't a deal breaker. And I was like, mood. I was like, absolute mood. Like, if you are a Trump supporter, you have essentially said, I don't care about people of color. I don't care about the LGBT community. I don't care about marginalized groups. All I care about is myself. And while I myself may not walk outside and go call a black person a nigger or something, like, I also don't care if it's happening. And the thing that people need to understand is being passive in these types of situations is agreeing. It's, if you're being passive in these situations, you're just as bad as the perpetrator. So if you see racism and you're still kind of just saying, hey, I don't agree with that, but that's okay because he's still great. No, honey, you're just as bad as a person who's openly being racist because you're supporting it, you're enabling it, and you're allowing it to keep going. So, Monique came out this week and said that she did not do a $10 million deal with Netflix, that was not false. She also told Lee Daniels to shut up. Like, Lee Daniels has been in some hot water this week because apparently he owes, oh God, what's the name of that director that Lee Daniels owes money to? Let me pull that up real quick because I don't remember. But, let me get into my Safari here. Lee Daniels. Oh, shoot. I've been taking like 85 screenshots. All right. Okay, Damon Dash. I couldn't think of the name of him right now. So Lee Daniels owes Damon Dash $5 million. Apparently, Damon Dash loaned Lee Daniels $5 million to start his career, to get on the ground going. And then, as soon as he got up big, he was going to give him the money back. Well, Lee Daniels for years apparently has been like avoiding Damon Dash like the plague. I mean, it makes logical sense. You owe the man $5 million. And Damon Dash finally caught up with him and he was like, nigga, you owe me money. Like, where is my money? Like, you owe me money. Like, what is good? And we're not talking about $5. We're not talking about $100, even $1,000. Like, okay, that's a lot of money, but okay, like it happens. People borrow $1,000 from someone and don't give it back. We are talking about $5 million. This is more than a lot of people make in their entire lifetime. And he owes this man $5 million. Lee Daniels is a scumbag. Monique was like, shut up, Lee Daniels, like about the whole thing, because Lee Daniels was like, I didn't blackball her, like I didn't do this to her. And Monique was like, I'm not having this shit. And you know what? Yes, honey, you tell him, okay? Because he's clearly a slimy scumbag. Like him and Monique have been having like beef for the longest. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. And last little thing is, I wish that there was more dark-skinned makeup gurus that did like natural makeup looks. Okay, I'm tired because first and foremost, I feel like there's only one really big natural makeup. Yeah, say that again. I feel like there's only one really big dark skin makeup guru, and she's messy. Okay, I'm not gonna say her name on this podcast, but she's messy. She's really, really messy. And she tries to make herself look lighter. You guys might know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say her name because her stans will probably find me and try to come and kill me, so I'm good. But okay, like I wish that there was just more dark skinned, and there is a lot of dark skinned makeup gurus, like don't get me wrong, but I wish more dark skinned makeup gurus focused on doing like natural makeup looks. Like I'm not saying it has to be like the same everyday look, but there's a lot of natural glam looks that you can do, and all of these makeup gurus do full on stage makeup. Like I wish that people understood that insta baddie makeup that every makeup guru does, slathering concealer, 5 different powders, contour, concealing again, you know, all of that stuff, like that is stage makeup. Like that is not makeup that is meant to wear when you walk down the street and you're just chilling. That is not makeup that is meant for that. That is literal stage makeup, and it is made to be seen under fluorescent lights, like, or like under those big, heavy, like stage lights or whatever. Or a ring light. Usually when people do that kind of makeup, they don't look right in person. Like there's been so many pictures of like off guards where those girls don't have their Lumi case or whatever lighting, and you see them and they looking like a whole clown because they have like 75 pounds of concealer on their face, and it just doesn't look good. Like it really only looks good on camera. And it's like funny because when I first started wearing makeup, I didn't really understand that. So I was literally going outside looking like a whole clown until I came to the realization, like, it's not my makeup skills that was making me look bad. It was the fact of the matter that this makeup is really not meant for every day. Like, it's really not. And I wish people would just, like, you know, not do that. I wish that they would just do looks that are a lot better, you know, because that baddie makeup, like, listen, I'm no like makeup artist, okay, but I just wish. And then it's like a lot of the black makeup gurus I see on the internet, like they put on foundation that is not their shade. They do everything on the planet to try to make their skin look lighter. And I feel like there's very, very few dark skin makeup gurus who like stay dark skin after all the makeup. And it's just, I'm tired of it. I'm really sad because I wish there was more. Like I said, I feel like the big guru that everybody loves, the dark skin one, like she really like, listen, she not my dark skin goals, honey, because she don't even, you could tell she don't like being dark skin, and you could tell she tries hard to not be dark skin. So anyways, if you are a dark-skinned makeup guru and you make YouTube videos, please let me know because I can't find any. But of course, like I said, YouTube, YouTube is a dog-eat-dog world, okay? A lot of dark-skinned gurus get paid dust. So I know that, and I know you guys are out there. So if you guys know any dark-skinned gurus, please let me know some. You can let me know on my Instagram. You can let me know in my podcast email, wherever. I don't care. Just let me know, okay? After a quick break, we're going to talk about, our life lesson for the day. Okay, so today's life lesson is going to be that you do not have to tear others down to pick yourself up. I am so tired of this world where women are so catty to one another to put themselves higher. The thing about it is at the end of the day, in this world, everything is not a competition. I hate the way that this world has made it seem that everything is a competition in life, you know? I think we grow up thinking you have to be the best, you have to be the top, and not realizing there is room for everybody in this world. Seriously, there is literally billions of people in this world. Well, no matter what you are doing, there is going to be a group of people for you if you do what you're doing and you get your message out to the right people. I feel like you don't have to feel like you need to compete with everybody else and throw them off the platforms so you can be the only one up there. Like, there's nothing wrong with a little variety in life, and I'm so tired of people acting like you gotta be the only one. And then to tear somebody else down, somebody else who's trying just as hard as you're trying, somebody else who's putting in just as much work as you're putting in, just to be like, okay, you know what? I don't want her to win. I want to be the only one that's winning. It just seems so greedy and selfish, and I'm just not sure where this whole thing comes from that you have to be so competitive. Even when I started podcasting, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, dang, how am I gonna get my podcast to be outshine all these other podcasts? But then one day I was like, what the fuck? Why am I competing with them? Especially when I started listening to a lot more like little podcasts that are also trying to come up. And I was like, why am I competing? There's enough space in the podcasting world for all of us. There is enough Black women or other people, whoever you want to listen to your podcast. There is enough of us in this world that everybody can have a spot. And yes, not every person is going to listen to everybody's stuff, but there's enough unique people in this world that you can have enough people that will listen to your stuff only, and they will listen to this person's stuff only, and sometimes they'll listen to both of your things, and that's okay. I just hate this whole premise that everything has to be a competition. I hate that, you know, women feel like they have to really like make other people look bad in order to make themselves look good. Like, seriously, I don't even mean to be like a head ass, but like, we really should be uplifting one another. And if you don't want to uplift other people, then just keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? But we really should be uplifting each other, especially women, because there are so many people out there, especially us Black women. There's so many people out there just waiting for us to fuck up so we can just look bad and look terrible. There's so many people out there just waiting for us to look bad. There's so many people looking for the smallest little mistake we make to capitalize it and make us look terrible. So as Black women, we should be in solidarity of one another. We should be out here helping each other out when we can. And I'm not saying you need to like uplift content you don't like. This is what I'm saying, is that there's enough unique content out there where you will find something that you love and that you will be able to support that content. You know, I'm not saying that you have to support every Black person. If you don't like what they're doing, then don't support them. But it's like, as Black women, we should really be supporting content we love, you know, whether it's art, videos, music, podcasts, whatever the case may be. And that's big. You know, you don't have to compete with others. You don't have to make others look bad for you to be good. Like, you really don't. You really, really don't. Like, that nasty, tearing down people, malicious stuff is disgusting. It's nasty. So, I'm just saying, there is enough space for all of us. There is enough room that we can all shine. There's enough audiences out there where we can all find our audience, and that's just that, okay? You don't have to tear somebody else down. But that is all I really have today for this podcast. I thank you guys for listening. Please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, and also rate and review this podcast. It really does help. Don't forget to go follow my Instagram at The Life of Lex Podcast. And also make sure to visit the podcast websites at thelifeoflex.libsyn.com to find past episodes and links to Apple Podcasts and other places that you can listen to past episodes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you guys later for the next podcast. Bye.